finally be home, and these cats will be able to relax. We're home, and when we got here, it was a bit of a challenge. This is day 2 of loading the trailer. It's a little bit complicated, as you'll see in a moment. As these things in the back of the trailer are going to be used shortly after we arrive, so they are nice and accessible. This chaos up here by the front doorway, some of it has yet to be arranged. Some of it will not be accessible because it's far away from the door. And then immediately inside the door, we'll put things that we will use in the near term. The bicycles are waiting for last to see if they get to come or not. Good morning. It's moving day, and we feel like we've been loading these trailers forever. And I say these trailers because not only do we have the one we bought, we also had to rent a U-Haul trailer. No, the bicycles are not still with us, and we got rid of some other stuff, but we were overweight in our own trailer, so we got another one. We still need to put the couch on Craigslist free, and our wonderful real estate agent is going to help us get rid of it. We're about to pull out, and I'm afraid the cats are about to start screaming. After the first 2 or 3 hours, Raven and Pandora gave up their protest and sulked in silence most of the time. For the most part, we stayed in cheap, pet-friendly motels that smelled like urine. But we spent one very pleasant evening with some family in Tennessee.
Merge onto I-81 North.
Good afternoon. We are 3 days in on our trip. If we were not hauling trailers, we would probably be home by now. But because we're hauling trailers, we are going about 62 miles an hour the entire time. So that adds one more day to our trip, which has been mercifully uneventful. And then we'll finally be home, and these cats will be able to relax. Well, we made it well before dark as we intended. We are utterly exhausted and we have about 5 million things to think about, and the cats have just come out into the trailer. But what I wanted to show you is that our awesome neighbors gave us a little housewarming gift. Let me turn the camera around. We had this plant sitting right outside our doorstep when we got home. Thank you, neighbors. Dharma's not so sure about this trailer. The cats are feeling right at home. We just finished unloading and it started to pour. I'm glad we were not delayed today. We're home. We've been here for 2.5 days, and when we got here, it was a bit of a challenge.
Nothing seemed to work just quite right. Of course, we ought to be used to that by now. I mean, we ought to anticipate it's not going to go quite right. The biggest challenge when we got here was having a 20-foot cargo trailer that was at max weight and getting up our steep driveway first. I was beginning to wonder if that was going to happen. And then I pulled into the spot that I thought was going to be its home, and that did not work at all. Maneuvering on a mountaintop in very, very limited space turned out to be very challenging. But I think we've got it in a good spot now. It should be able to be left there as our shed for the duration until we get everything built. That was very stressful trying to get that all situated. How do you like being up here?
At first, it was really difficult because we had things scattered about in 2 different trailers and a truck and the car. And a lot of my belongings, especially the ones I used every day, were not yet in their proper places in the camper. So we got into the camper and we had suitcases and we had things everywhere, and we had 3 animals and 2 people, and we were in each other's way because there was nowhere to move until we put the things away.
The first evening and the next morning were pretty stressful. But yeah, I feel good. I mean, I sleep very well up here for the most part, and it's beautiful. It's springtime.
And the camper is still not completely organized, but it's much more organized to the point where it's starting to feel like a home, and we're starting to settle in.
It's definitely less stressful right now. I mean, as time goes by and projects get completed, every project that gets completed will kind of lower stress levels, especially the primary projects like getting a good water system in place, getting the solar array up so we have all the power we need. When those are in place, I think things will really feel better.
We still have a lot to do, but we don't have a very limited time frame in which to do it.
Right? We don't have to stress over it. We'll get it done when we get it done, which feels pretty good, actually.
It does. And we are happy to be here.
Yes, we are.